late again.
All right, it is Wednesday, the 27th, 11 o'clock. We'll call to order the City of Brainerd Personnel and Finance Committee meeting, and we'll start with introductions.
Kara Terry, Ward 1.
Alderman at Large Kevin Stunek.
Connie.
Jesse Dean, City Engineer.
John Davis, Police Chief.
Chris Schubert, HR Director.
Nick Broyle, City Administrator.
Gabe Johnson, Chair of the committee. We have 6 items in front of us today, the first of which is approval of, backed by popular demand, the approval of MOAs regarding the ESST law.
Yes, as noted at the last council meeting, we have been working with the unions to create a memorandum of agreement regarding the new ESST law. In your packet are MOAs for 3 unions. We are expecting at least 1, maybe 2 more before the packet goes out. These MOAs have been negotiated with the unions as well as their attorneys and our attorneys. So they are a little bit different as you see them based on what the attorneys want in each situation. So asking for your approval of those MOAs.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any substantive differences between them?
No, we tried to be really careful. They just like to tweak the wording a little bit. The first ones were real generic, and then some of the attorneys got involved, and imagine that they want to expand on some of the language and things like that.
Oh,
So.
yeah, attorney stuff. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion carries. Next up is approve wage adjustment for the CSOs. Chris.
Okay, so our community service officers are currently paid $16 per hour. When we did our class and comp study last year, we asked Flaherty and Hood to review that position as well. We already approved the points for that position as required by pay equity. Also, Flaherty and Hood has recommended a different wage for that position. In discussing this with Chief Davis, we felt that it was more applicable just to use the step 1 wage instead of the full 8-step system for this group. These employees typically are employed with us maybe 2 years at the max, maybe 3. And so to do performance reviews and things like that just didn't make sense. So at this point, we are recommending that we set their 2024 wage as of April 2nd at $20.09 per hour, and that the wage scale be indexed annually by the ABI approved for other non-union employees.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? I have a question, I guess. Is this included in our pay equity study since they're part-time employees?
We are required to include them in pay equity. We have to include any employee classification that works at least 14 hours per week. They are scheduled to work up to 29, so that's why they had to be included in pay equity.
So, like concession workers and warming house attendants?
They don't work an average 14 hours per week, and those are considered truly temporary employees. These people are part-time employees. They can work for a couple years, so that's the difference.
Okay.
Chris, can you tell me then, they don't receive annual reviews? How do they know they're meeting performance expectations?
I will let Chief Davis talk about that.
Yeah, so Chris had mentioned, they may work for 2 to 3 years. I would almost say that would maybe be a little bit of an exception even at sometimes. We have, typically, for example, every summer we will have a CSO that's doing an internship through their school, and they work just 3 months. They're typically college students. A lot of them are CLC students to where, they are maybe able to work 1 school year. So, their employment can be 3 months. There's been some instances where, it's a couple of years. The amount of hours that they're working at times is very minimal. As far as evaluations, there are continual daily, weekly evaluations and feedback on performance, however, not being within the pay for performance structure and the uniqueness of their position, their hours, their longevity, just traditionally has never been done.
Thank you, Chief. And have we seen the people who hold this position sometimes do apply for full-time officer positions as well?
Go ahead.
Yes, right now, we have at least 4. Odds are I'm even forgetting one officer that at one point started with us as a community service officer.
Okay.
Yeah, so, and that's, and that really is a tool that we really recognized over the last, several years when, hiring, recruiting has become an issue, is really, looking to develop them. And that's, we look to them, hopefully, if their plans in life pan out to, stick around with us.
Thank you, Chief. So it's not that they aren't receiving reviews on their performance, it's just that, and you are taking active steps to ensure that they're learning their role, doing it appropriately, even so much so as they may promote into, or not promote, but accept a full-time officer position. Thank
Correct.
you for the clarification.
All right. Anything, Kevin?
No, I'm good.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion carries. Number 3, approved wage step increase for Assistant City Engineer Flooding. Chris?
I'm actually going
Jesse.
to let Jesse take this
Yeah.
one.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So we were just recently notified that our Assistant City Engineer, James Wadung, he was lucky enough to pass his professional engineering exam, which allows him to get his professional engineering license, which is a really, really big deal for engineers. There's some value to the city for having a second licensed engineer, but equally very valuable in the engineering market for jobs as well. Because of the importance of having that license, staff is recommending that he be moved from step 2 to step 3 on the assistant city engineer wage grid. And we included some of the wages and impact of the finances for that.
Jesse, can I ask where the money's gonna come from?
So I'd leave that to Connie if she has any idea.
Said it's not included in the budget.
It's not included in the budget. I think this is an unforeseen budgeted expenses. Hopefully we'll be short on other items to make up for the difference, and that's why we try to have a fund balance as well. Our budget is our plan. It's not something that you have to stick to. I mean, it is, but it isn't. And
It's something you have to stick to.
right. But it's just, it's our plan, and things come up that weren't in our plan when we adopted the plan.
Okay, I understand. I'm fine with that. With that, I'll make the motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. I got to follow up, Connie. Would it be in order to say that we're taking this money out of the construction fund, or say where it's coming from, or do we just
So,
take it out, absorb it in personnel services and hope for
correct.
the best?
So, James's wage is already allocated some to the construction fund, which is not part of our levy funds. So the impact is probably gonna be less than $3,000 to the working funds. Because I think 90% of his not 90%, I think there's 50 to 60% of his wage is budgeted already in the construction fund.
All right, can you get me that percentage before Monday? Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion carries. Next up is consider wage adjustment for finance manager. Chris?
Finance Manager Danny Locke informed us that he had received an external job offer and inquired if the city would try to get closer to that offered wage. We discussed this. He is currently on step 2 and is paid $49.29 per hour. He is expected to advance to step 3 on October 30th, which would get him up to $51.10. The external job offer was about $120,000 per year. So with that in mind, we discussed this, and our recommendation is to increase his step placement to step 6, which would be $56.52 per hour, effective April 2nd. We realize there's some unusual circumstances with this situation. Danny's been with us for 5 months, but he's been able to work directly with Public Utilities Director Wickland, learning the position, and with Todd's retirement coming up in a little over a month, we felt for operational needs and efficiency, this is something we really wanted to do. So with that, we are recommending his step advancement effective April 2nd to step 6.
Also move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
Chris, I understand the reasoning behind it, and I'm certain you did this, and I'm going to ask anyway. Review the benefits and all of that, because, we could have a better benefits package than the other employer, or, it's
So-
more than just the wage.
Right.
oftentimes.
So when he started, or when we offered the position to him, we did a little negotiating at that point, and we created the utility manager's benefit cycle. So we already kind of updated that for him. I'm not sure what other benefits we could offer at this point. Is that your question, Kara?
Yes, and I'm wondering, did he share information about the benefits? Do we know that this isn't going to sound very nice. Do we know that this was a legit offer? And I'll say that, you know, in my line of work, we also face this, and we certainly want to keep quality staff on board. And we also do our best to ensure the offer is real. Not that somebody would try to falsify it or anything.
He did not have anything in writing to share with me, but he did tell me it was an actual offer. Everything I know about Danny is that I would not accept or expect anything different from him.
Checks and balances.
Yes. And also to say, he is a CPA. So when we hired that position, there was 3 candidates, if I remember correctly, and he was by far the most qualified. He's only been with us since October. So I would doubt that labor market would be much different, or that labor pool for us.
And I just want to say, I'm not inferring or saying that he would not be honest in any way, shape, or form, just had to share.
Thank you. I support doing this. I really hate to lose Danny. I think he's, in all my dealings with him over the time he's worked here, he's been fantastic to work with, and I really think we need to do what we can to keep him. I've known Danny a long time, and he's not one to lie, so I definitely believe he had that job offer, and I trust that he wants to stay here if he brought that to us and gave us an opportunity to do what we can. And it's nice that we're not changing the base wage on the wage grid. We're just advancing him steps on the same wage grid that he's on, so it's really a good deal, so I think we should support it. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. That motion carries. And you have a second recommendation?
Yes, there's a second part of that as well. So when we created the finance manager position, we created it in mind, or thinking that the finance director should be at least over that position as far as percentage of wage and what that position is paid. With moving Danny to step 6, there will only be an 11-cent per hour difference between Danny and Connie's wage as finance director. Connie is currently on step 5, and staff's recommendation at this point is to adjust her to step 6 on that same date to maintain that wage difference a little bit, recognizing the difference in between a department head and a supervisor.
I so move.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to advance Finance Director Hillman to step 6 of the wage grid. Any discussion? Is this budgeted, Connie? Good, I'm glad you didn't budget that. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. That motion carries.
One of those unforeseen things again, like my,
Yeah, it's implementing this wage study isn't a straight line, really. Next up, good news, approved 24 to 26 contract terms of wage resolution with IBEW Local Number 31 Administrative Support Union. Chris?
Yes, so in your packet is our tentative agreement terms as well as a wage resolution. On the screen, you're seeing what the wage adjustments would be for those across-the-board adjustments on those effective dates. Please note that the Legacy did have a different amounts that we propose for them versus the people that are on our wage grid. The union did vote on this, and they approved that on March 19th. We're asking you to approve the tentative agreement, and also that the council adopt a resolution at their meeting.
I so move.
second,
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
just anytime we can settle a contract, that's a good thing.
Yeah, it was nice. This union was good to work with, and it's I'm glad to have it done. It would have been nice to have it done in November, but we got it done now, and that's good. We only got one more left to close up. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion carries. And then, did we have a motion, actually? Did you motion to approve the TA?
I did.
Okay. Then we need a motion to adopt the attached resolution setting the wage grid.
So move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second on the wage grid. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion carries. And next up, 6, update on assistant planner hiring process. Chris?
Yes, our assistant planner left us, I believe it was in December. We have now conducted 2 unsuccessful searches on this position. When we tried to do this a little over a year ago, before that person left, we also had some unsuccessful searches. So staff is looking at our options, and we'll be letting you know what we're recommending at the April 15th meeting. Just wanted to give you an update on that.
Okay, as far as unsuccessful, are we getting no candidates, not high enough quality candidates? What are we seeing?
So we're getting a few candidates, maybe a handful. With that said, we gave 2 job offers and they both declined. One of them was from out of state. She was from Pennsylvania and looked at other options. It is a very hard position to fill. This is an assistant position, not a city manager or a city planner position, excuse me. And so when people are coming out of school, they're looking for some advancement opportunities as well that we really don't have. So that's why we want to review this, discuss it, and bring some recommendations back to you at the next meeting.
Great. Any questions, discussion? No? Thanks for the update. Anything else to come before the committee?
The next meeting will be Wednesday, following the same pattern, Wednesdays before at 11. It'll be Wednesday, April 10th at 11 o'clock.
Wednesday, April 10th at 11 will be our next meeting. And with that, we're adjourned.
I'm good at planning my day and my life, maybe I should apply for the planner job.